up? Twosun. Living on Tulsa time. New Twosun. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty sure this got a tanto blade. And, I'm interested. Direct from mainland China to your video viewing screen. How about it? I'm gonna get rid of that oily bag. I'm not sure why I'm keeping that bag, but let's get rid of the distractions here. I can see that it's oily. Lots of skeletonizing, even on the outside of these titanium scales. Looks like full titanium. Titanium scales, titanium pocket clip, small titanium backspacer, lanyard pin. Got titanium flipper tabs, both sides. All right, let's get that blade out of there. Yeah, look at that thing. What a beast. I mean, it's a beast of a knife. What do we got? This is a ts564 in 14C28N. Nice stonewash finish. Semi-satin on there. It's got a rough finish on it that I believe matches the feel of the knife. The stonewashed black titanium scales, pocket clip. Yeah, I think the motif works. The thumb flick, yeah, wonderful. That little flipper tab, I mean, not everybody digs these. You know, some people are like, just give me a regular, but man, this one works. Just the way the thumb lands flat there. Yeah, that is really good. Let's try the Spidey flick. Yeah. And then it's got a back flipper. I wonder if I can fail it. Nah, it's pretty snappy. I mean, it's like a perfect size handle thing going on there. I'm going to look at where we're locked up here. It's outside to inside. And the reason that I want to do that is because it feels stiff reaching in here. So we'll see. I'll see where it lines up when we take it apart, which is right now. Let's get this thing apart. I got oil kind of squeaking out here and there. Looks like we're going to be TH across the board. Even the pocket clip screw is a T8. Yep, we're free. The pocket clip doesn't need to go. I felt the knife give. Yep, pocket clip can stay attached. Yeah, and there is a ton of tension here. So when this knife is locked up, this bar is way over there. See where I'm at there? It's way over there. So I'm going to take about half of that out of there, which means I got to take this off. I'm going to try to wipe off some of that oil. Ooh, yeah. Lots of skeletonizing going on the inside as well. Yep, but everything is super oily. Yep. So we're going to disassemble because we're going to wipe everything down really carefully. But let's go ahead and resolve this lock bar, which, you know, these can be difficult because, of course, this piece is going to come out, and then you got to somehow kind of measure for going from there to there. Like, how do I measure that? So we'll see. So I do have the luxury of I can set it flat and kind of gauge where that's at. Um, I think on this one, I'm going to bring a ruler to bear because there's enough there for me to kind of see, and I'll show you what I mean. Look at all these oily parts, man. All right. So I'm going to use a box here to illustrate what I'm talking about so you can see it, but I'm going to lay it flat, and then I'm going to measure this distance right here. And it looks like I'm about 4 millimeters, or no, that's inches. Well, I'm about 4 ticks up, so I think when I'm done bending it, when I lay it flat, I want to take about half of that, so I'm gonna be down there at 3. But I'm not gonna do it off the box. I just kind of wanted to illustrate, and I didn't even look and see what that looked like for you. But yeah, so I'm gonna put that ruler down and then measure where I'm at, okay, when I'm flat on a surface. And then I'll bend that a little bit and then I'll measure it again. And of course, I want to close that distance a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it here flat and I'm going to get a measurement on it. And then I'm going to bend it a little bit. Okay, so I bent it a little bit, and now I'm going to put this back on and put the screws in it to get a look at where it's really at. And I may have to do this a couple of times because it may look one way and then get screws in and it be not quite what I'm wanting. Okay, so I think I've got about half of that out of it. And when it locks up, it's over there. So I'm going to go with this and we'll put the knife back together and see where we're at. We'll test that action. All right, well, let's wipe everything down. And yeah, pretty simple process, but it's like any adjustment on a detent, you know, so it's trial and error, man. Sometimes it's too much, sometimes it's not enough. One of the tests will be, will a lock fail, you know? And I have had more than a fair share of knives that had kind of an excessive detent on it. I mean, way more than I would have thought it needed based on lockup, but then the lock fail, you know, and literally I've had to put all that tension back on locks, whether it's a liner lock or a frame lock, a bolster lock, whatever. I've had more than a fair share that I've had to put all that tension back on it, And clearly, whoever tuned it at the factory tuned it so that the lock wouldn't fail. And, it feels heavy, but it's what was required for that piece to lock up and not fail. So, we'll see. There's no way to know until we put it back together. And, like, anytime you're messing with the action like that, you just got to be patient and be prepared to disassemble the knife again. You got to be prepared to put it together, run it, check it, and if need be, take it apart, redo it. And if need be, take it apart, redo it. And if you're not patient or willing to do that, then I'd recommend, as long as it works from the factory, maybe don't mess with it, because you may have to do it a bunch. All right, I think we've got all the oil off of everything. So let's capture pivot. And then we've got, I think these are the same. Yeah. Got a nice, thick, big internal stop pin built into the blade. Runs inside the titanium on both sides. So, gonna have big, nice solid lockup. It's got a nice size pin back here for a lanyard. It's captured between the scales. Racetrack washers, ceramic cage bearings, put a little bit where that detent ball's been running. There we go. Yeah, I mean, it felt awful light putting that down on there compared to when it came off. It's amazing what a couple of little ticks on a ruler can mean in the action of a knife. I'm going to put one of these screws in back here, and then we'll test that action and the lock and figure out whether we got to take it apart again. All right, we're locked up tight. Blade centered. I mean, it's a huge improvement unlocking the knife. Reaching in here, yeah, it was taking an effort. Pretty sure I can fail the knife now. There's just not enough detent. Well, I mean, it ran. It didn't fly out there. If I use gravity to help me, I'll bet you it runs good. Oh, just got it. Yeah, wow. But yeah, it's running good. So, moment of truth. Yeah, it's all good. Let's finish putting it together. Get this other screw in here and we'll buckle everything up. All right. Pretty cool. Well, let's talk about this action. I mean, it's drop shut now for sure. The thumb is very nice. Spidey flick. Back flipper. Yeah, everything's really snappy. This is lowered slightly, scalloped inside on both sides, and very intuitive. And the tension required now to unlock that is very reasonable. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's locked up, super solid, no wiggle in this thing anywhere. Yeah, look at that action, man. Legit. Oop. Um, I mean, hmm. I mean. It's an A. You know, I'll put it in that A to an A minus. I mean, it's really nice. I'm probably going to lean to an A minus, and I'll tell you why. Because to close the knife, you're here. I mean, that's not really late. Well, to get over it is there. So it's sort of late. Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna say an A to an A minus, but leaning towards the A minus on the action, which is still really good. It's A level, like a C is average, So B is better than average, and an A, starts to work towards that E word, excellent, right? 100%. Yeah, very nice. Ergonomics, um, pretty good jimping on the spine. Not so confident, very confident. Yeah, this thing just goes whoop, right up to the top of the scale. This big flipper tab just locks the fingers in there, and then of course they lock in at the back. I mean, you feel locked in here. This is a grip knife for sure. Which means folder self defense, you know, purposed, especially with that tanto blade, reverse grip here. I mean, yeah, the thumb caps this thing wonderfully, very powerful grip. And as an added bonus, I mean, my hand just perfectly fits in there. And so the ability to smash this knife down here, I'd rather go here than here. And man, this thing, whoo, powerful. Very powerful grip. Yeah, wonderful ergonomics. What about the pocket clip? Yeah, wonderful. Thick stuff. Does leave about a half an inch. I mean, and it represents a substantial piece in your pocket, no doubt. But I think it looks good. It's got great tension. Yep, standard jean size material. Again, it's got great tension there. It's going to rest in the pocket the same as the thick stuff, but yeah, it's got excellent tension. My spot in the back pocket, yeah. I mean, that's cool. And this I don't know, this milling out of there really gives you a place to grab onto, so it's easy to get it out. Yeah, wonderful pocket clip, wonderful. It's got a big contact patch underneath there, and so that aids in its ability to grip and hold on. I dig it. Excellent tension. What about safety? This may be the downfall. Yeah, no blade contact through the back scales. Very nice. And the tip is recessed. So, clip's awesome. Tip is good. And I can handle this knife any way I want and not make contact with that 14C blade. I already checked that lock, but man, it's solid. How's that blade? Got that dual grind tanto going on there. Yeah, crazy sharp. How about that other grind? Yeah, come on. Excellent. And it's a good looking grind. I've got a few knives on deck that wonderful knives from the Yangjiang province. I think that's a province. I don't know. But from that same area that are wonderful pieces, but they just don't have the grind right. Like newer manufacturers from that area, and the grind on the knives is kind of janky. But not on this Twosun. It's wonderful. ts564 14C28N. I mean, what a very cool piece. I dig it, man. Um, Roughly, what's this thing cost? So, list on these is going to be right around $90, especially if you're looking to buy one in the U.S. Um, I did see some China buy it now listings for 110. That seems a little over the top to me. Um, Timber's Edge is probably in that $90 range. If you subscribe over there, you get that 10% discount. I mean, that puts us right around $80. Um, it is a super solid piece. It's a typical Twosun. Heavy duty, very capable, thick blade stock, nice ergos, excellent action, good quality materials. Yeah, $80. You know, but it's a serious piece, man. This knife's no joke. Could it be a work knife? It definitely could. I mean, it's robust for sure. Hey, I appreciate y'all watching.